Welcome to a series about games that have inspired us here at Mode 7. I revisited Doom recently as we started working on Frozen Synapse 2 levels, and I wanted to get my mind into classic level design mode. Here I'm running Z-Doom, which is free. Most people know about it, but if not, it's probably the best way to re-experience Doom. Recent criticism of the game has focused a lot on its enemy design, with Mark Brown of Game Maker's Toolkit fame picking up on an idea from a 2014 GDC talk by Matthias Vorch called Meaningful Choice in Game Level Design. This focuses on the idea of orthogonal unit distribution, the concept that every enemy represents a distinct combination of traits along several axes: speed, firing method, health, and so on. That's all well and good, and it serves as a good reminder for our own level design practices, but it's not really what I specifically picked up from Doom when I played it as a youngster. For me, Doom was about definition, and specifically a defined sense of place, not just in the enemies, but pervading the entire design of the game. It was the first game I played which had meaningful 3D movement in a semi-realistic space, but it took that idea and ran with it to such an incredible extreme. The shape of these rooms, the graininess of the art, the fluidity of the character movement. The levels were at once very gamey, the path for the player is often clear, the change in wall texture often signifying something mechanical, but equally, they're almost plausible. What I always wanted from games at that age was a sense of getting inside the computer, being able to go to another world which was entirely digital, and that's what Doom meant for me. The fact that some levels used textures that were based on circuit boards lying around the id Software office probably only served to heighten this experience. Doom was also extremely subversive. I only knew Wolfenstein 3D as a controversial game which for some reason occasionally appeared in Sierra's catalogues that were otherwise crammed full of whimsical adventure and entertainment. I perceived that as a video nasty and never played it. But Doom was at once just as sensational, but somehow more sophisticated. Blasting enemies with a shotgun and seeing them crumple into a bloody mess was part of it, but it felt like that was happening in the service of making its world more interesting. It was coherent, it made sense. The excellent sound design also always stood out to me, the deep clunk of the switches and the whine of the doors. The limitation of the low bitrate was used to good effect, adding crunch and grain to each distinct sound effect. That was also a big theme of Doom's design, reveling in limitations. As the game goes on, you can see the level designers push the toolset very hard in the service of throwing new surprises and twists at the player. Responsiveness, clarity and definition, while still transporting the player to a distinctive and somewhat coherent reality, are the things I take from Doom. Modern games are obsessed with world building and environmental storytelling, but they often take a maximalist approach to this. We've moved away from the idea of getting inside the computer to a progression towards full mimesis. Players want agency within the game world, and game environments are being designed to facilitate this. But every time I replay Doom, I'm struck by its elegance. Yes, you do have the puzzle-solving elements of rooms of enemies, but to me it's how those break down into this distinct, delineated experience that makes the game so compelling. It feels like an essential lesson as we hurtle towards the future of particularly first-person experiences. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, or you'd like me to do things a bit differently next time, let me know in the comments.